Hello again, du, ich möchte dich heute noch sehen. Ich will dir gegenüberstehen. Viel zu lang war die Zeit.
Jetzt ist für viele die Zeit, den Impfschutz aufzufrischen. Zum Beispiel für Menschen über 60, Vorerkrankte und Menschen in Gesundheitsberufen. Auch für Sie? Lassen Sie sich von Ihrer Ärztin oder Ihrem Arzt beraten. Informationen des Bundesministeriums für Gesundheit unter corona-schutzimpfung.de.
Hey, it's so good to be back. I'm so happy that you came back to this episode, to this podcast, to listen to my thoughts and my experiences. I've been doing a lot of embodiment work in the last weeks. My overall energy, if you want to call it that, has been the feeling and becoming aware of the polarity between the feminine and the masculine. And I crossed some thoughts that I would like to share with you because I think they are so important when we go into unconscious manifestation, which in it is an oxymoron because you can't go consciously into unconscious manifestation, but you will see where it blocks you in your reality, in the material world around you. There are certain words that I'm going to use, and I want you to feel into them. Try to pace the energy and try to feel and see which energy arises in you when you repeat them in your head, or maybe you want to just speak them out loudly. That's perfectly fine, whatever you choose. But you will feel the difference in them. And it's so important that we are aware of how we manifest, and about how logic it is that some things, some wishes just never come true, whereas our longings, our deep desires will always come true when we turn to them and go for them. So let's start. The first thing when it comes to wanting things is to ask for them. In first place, you need to be aware of what you want. Of course, that's number one. But I think every one of us has these things, these lists of what we want in life and how we think our lives are supposed to look. So the first thing when we learn manifesting, or when these cravings or wantings come into our minds, is we ask for them. We usually do this in the reality around us. So we ask people, hey, can you help me? Or we ask companies or whatever we need to get what we want. So we ask for it. What does ask for arise in you? What energy comes up when you say this out loud, when you spread this word in your body? You ask for something. What can the possible reply be? What can the outcome be? What will people think of you if you ask for things? I'll leave it like this. So the next stage is wishing for. When you wish for things, who do you address to? Do you talk to people? Do you chat with your friends? Do you journal it? Do you meditate for it? What does wish for with what kind of energy does wish for come compared to ask for? What's the difference for you? Because this is highly individual, and that's why I'm asking you these questions, so you can just check in with yourself and your energies. The next stage is desire for something. When you desire, and that's where I want to give my opinion about it, because I think we need to go dive a bit deeper into the weight of these words. So when you desire something, the energy comes from your heart. Desiring things is something that makes your biology go, oh yes, I want exactly that. We desire things that are only and explicitly hell yeses. So when we build up our lives in the knowing, in the aim of everything that we do needs to be a hell yes, very important for generators and manifesting generators, by the way, in human design. So if we build up our lives on our desires, then the energy aspect is always in there. It always comes from parts of your heart. While wish for is also, well, is a bit stronger than ask for me, and also has an energetic element. But wishing for is, for me, has less energy, less possibilities, less depth than desiring. And the last stage is long for. So if you long for something, who do you address to? The universe, right? I address the universe if I long for something. I'm just gonna surrender, and I'm gonna say, with every cell of my body, I long for this man. With every cell of my body, I long for this job. I long for this future. And then, noticing my desires, noticing my longings, I can address them explicitly to the universe. I can also address them to my friends. I can talk to the people I love, to the people that support me, my coaches. And then it becomes more real already. But the problem most of us have is that we know what we need to ask for. I mean, groceries and things that we need for daily life. We know how to ask for something. We know how to wish for something, but there again, already there, it becomes a bit blurry. And then, I mean, you notice that this is only stage 2 of manifestation, right? Of depth, of energetic manifestation. I mean, energetic manifestation is, you cannot manifest unenergetically, I think, but it's not coming from your rational mind. It comes from your heart. It comes from your soul. So when you don't even dare to wish for things, how can you find the courage to address your desires or even your longings? Because they belong to you. You earn the right to have this with your birth. So if you can see how much there is left for you to discover, then you realize at which point of life you are right now, which might just probably be very materialistic, very real in the way of things that you can touch, things that you can see. But when we use quantum physics here, then you're only using the smallest, tiniest part of the forces that are here for you and that are waiting for you to demand what you need to be your highest self. I often get the question of, how do I know what I really desire? Because we are so vulnerable in being afraid of our needs not being met when we communicate them to whomever. So we'd rather live disappointed than be disappointed that our needs are not met. So if you find yourself in this scenario, then girl, something has to change. You're not owning your right to be happy. So how do I know what I really desire and what are just wishes that don't really come from my heart, or that come, where do I live, where do I live the ideas of other people, of my family, of my parents? But what do I really, really long for? You can just do this as a writing session. You can just write down, I ask for these things, I wish for these things, I desire for, I long for, and just have a little brainstorming and feeling into it. You can go into it through meditation. You can leave me your comments. Of course, you're always welcome to DM me, to check out my website, to get in touch, get in contact, because we are raised to not dream big. We are raised to not feel our desires. And even if we do, most of the time we don't dare to demand for them, which is where the magic actually begins. So this is what I wanted to share with you today. You're very welcome to just let me know what you think. Let me know how this episode guided you through your own chaos, maybe in emotions. I would be very happy to know what your real desires, real longings are. If you were tied to a machine that would detect every lie, what would you say you long for? It's a good question for the ending. So we'll be back very soon with some human design special, which I'm looking forward so much because I love human design. I love our own individuality and speaking about it. And I just want to share more about my processes in the last weeks, because you haven't heard from me, at least not in this English version of my podcast. The German one has been so very active, but this one hasn't. So I'm gonna catch up with you on the things that I learned, that I want to share with you. Really looking forward to it. So you have the best day, and talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Hello again. Du, ich möchte dich heute noch sehen. Ich will dir gegenüberstehen. Viel zu lang war die Zeit.
Jetzt ist für viele die Zeit, den Impfschutz aufzufrischen. Zum Beispiel für Menschen über 60, Vorerkrankte und Menschen in Gesundheitsberufen. Auch für Sie, lassen Sie sich von Ihrer Ärztin oder Ihrem Arzt beraten. Informationen des Bundesministeriums für Gesundheit unter corona-schutzimpfung.de